Okay, a very good afternoon to you, Chandrasekhar.
Good afternoon, sir.
In the previous class, we have seen the basic concepts related to global communication. Okay, and we have moved on to theoretical perspectives. And we have stopped yesterday with agendas, with the propaganda. We will continue with
Yes,
propaganda.
Okay, sir.
Okay, propaganda is dissemination of ideas or information in order to influence or persuade people. If you go a little more deeper, their attitudes, their actions. That's the meaning. Dissemination of information or ideas in order to influence or persuade a person, attitudes and behaviors. And with regard to propaganda, we have a famous theorists, namely Harold Laswell, Noam Chomsky, and Walter Lippmann. As per the subject, we are only concerned with Noam Chomsky, and we see what he says about propaganda. I've just mentioned you the names. Okay. If you are interested, you can go through the evolution or the historical overview about the word propaganda itself. So I have mentioned it here. We need not to go into details. So there are three types of propaganda, namely white propaganda, black propaganda, gray propaganda, and then engineering of consent. So see, actually, before we actually understand what propaganda from the point of view of Harold Laswell, he draws our attention to three schools, namely behaviorism, Freudianism. Okay, so according to Harold Laswell, people are vulnerable. People are vulnerable. They are easily influenced. They are very passive. So Harold Laswell bases his argument or his theory on this, that people are vulnerable. So this is only just an understanding that I wanted to give you. So we will go straight away to Noam Chomsky. Okay, Noam Chomsky's propaganda model. The propaganda model of media control was introduced by Edward S. Herman and Noam Chomsky in their book Manufacturing Consent and the Political Economy of the Mass Media. Okay, they have opined their ideas with regard to propaganda in this particular book called Manufacturing Consent, the Political Economy of the Mass Media. This theory states how propaganda works in mass media. So we have already known the definition of propaganda. What's propaganda? Influencing the attitudes or the behaviors of the person through dissemination of information. So how do we disseminate information? Via various media channels. So here the theory states how propaganda works in mass media. So how in mass media we people get influenced with the information that is shared about a person, about a party, about a community, about certain issues. See, I wanted to draw your attention to.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I want to draw your attention to this particular. I hope you are reading. You follow Telugu, right?
Yes, sir.
Chandrasekhar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. See, if you have read today's newspaper, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
తప్పించారా?
here, what do you read on the screen, Chandrasekhar? Chadava?
ఎమ్మెల్యే తనయుడిని తప్పించారా?
Aha. See the framing. As soon as you watch this clipping, newspaper clipping, what predominantly strikes you is tappinchara.
ఎస్ సార్.
Yes or no?
ఎస్ సార్. ఎస్ సార్.
తప్పించారా అన్న తరువాతే ఓకే ఏం తప్పించారా అన్నటువంటి ప్రశ్న మనలో we get that doubt. Slowly then we try to get sense of the word. Okay, so ఎమ్మెల్యే తనయుడిని తప్పించారా. See again, as you go on to the article or the news item, you will see how the propaganda is worked in the news article. Okay, have you read that news, Chandrasekhar?
Sir, yes, sir.
Or can you brief me what it is? See, if you read this article, they say only MLA Koduku. So you know that he is an MLA. Then you could have mentioned his name, right? Why you didn't mention his name?
Due to political pressure, sir.
Political pressures, because they are ruling party. They have affiliations with the AIMM, all that.
Sir, Home Minister grandson also involved in that, sir.
Yeah, and the fellow who is caught has taken photos with the deputy chief minister and chief minister. Okay, so you are able to see the propaganda.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. The model tries to understand how the population is manipulated. The population means we are manipulated. How are we manipulated? By presenting information through various channels, through various media channels. Okay, the news that I have just shared with you, okay, the news is misshaped or reshaped, as you have rightly said, because of political pressures. Are you following me, Chandrasekhar?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, the model tries to understand how the population is manipulated and how the social, economic, political attitudes are fashioned in the minds of people through propaganda. So what does this particular news item tell us? That means if you have any political support, you can do anything and everything.
Yes, sir.
You will be saved. That's the attitude they're trying to put it in the minds of the people. So that is propaganda. Herman and Chomsky mostly concentrated on American population and media for their research, but this theory is universally applicable. Though the theory bases the context of America, but it is universally applicable. So I just gave the example. Is it not applicable to India, Chandrasekhar, and especially Telangana?
Yes, sir. Applicable, sir.
Very much, very much. In their book Manufacturing Consent, Herman and Chomsky says a propaganda model focuses on this inequality of wealth and power and its multi-level effects on mass media interests and choices. So propaganda focuses on this inequality of wealth and power. So inequality, suppose I may be, see, for example, Anil Ambani has lot of money, lot of wealth, but does he have power like any other politician has?
No, sir.
but he can control that power.
Yes, sir.
He
Indirectly.
can control the power. But suppose Anil Ambani is caught, then immediately the particular minister can take charge of him. Yes, Chandrasekhar, you were talking.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It traces the routes by which money and power are able to filter out the news. Very important, Chandrasekhar. Pay attention. The crux of the theory is here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
It traces the routes by which money and power are able to filter out the news fit to print, marginalize dissent, and allow the government and dominant private interests to get their messages across the public. And that means if you have power, if you have money, give me a moment. I think it's raining. 1 minute, please. Sorry for the interruption. So if you have money, if you have power, you can manipulate the news. You can control the people who publish news so that they filter the news. They filter the news. I just give you an example, Chandrasekhar. Pay attention. Very important thing. Pay attention, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is a movie clip from page 3. Page 3 is a Hindi movie. Okay, if you have not watched, please watch. It's a worth watching film.
Sir.
It's available in YouTube. Okay, I want to drive one particular point here. Please watch it.
So मैं माधुरी बोल रही हूँ. So I have some very important news, sir. Breaking news. You have to stop the press. I'll come and explain everything. Yes, it's very important. Okay, fine. Fine. चलो किधर? Thank you, sir. अरे कहाँ पहुँचा बच्चा?
Hope you are watching Chandrasekhar. Very important point.
Sir, watching, sir, watching. Sir.
Mr. Kadam. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Kadam. Thank you. Thank you for your help, Mr. Mosley. Let's go for it. Very good. I'll keep you informed about it. Myself, Mr. Kadam. Our relations go way back. Don't worry. I will take care of the rest. Okay. Bye-bye. This is all of it. Sorry, evidence है, sir. Sir, हमें ये story छोड़नी नहीं चाहिए. Sick man से ये story publish होनी चाहिए. तुम पागल हो गए हो? थापर ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनीज और उनके फॉरेन कोलैबोरेटर से हमको सबसे ज्यादा एडवर्टाइजिंग रेवेन्यू आता है, यानी पैसा. और क्या तुम नहीं जानते हो कि कितनी बड़ी लॉबी है? Yes, Mr. Kadam. जी बोलिए. हाँ, थापर साहब से कहिए not to worry. Everything under control. वो टेंशन ना ले. Fine, Mr. Mishadani. Okay. Bye bye. क्या नाम है उस लड़की का? सर, वो एक अच्छी जर्नलिस्ट है. We will do some good journalism. Bad. निकाल दो
आर्टिकल क्यों नहीं छपा सर? हमें तो स्टॉप प्रेस करवा के बहुत लेट हो गया था क्या?
So, what did you understand, Chandrasekhar?
Money and power plays an important role, sir. Due to
Okay.
they're having power and also having money. That's why the news did not come out, sir.
Correct. You are absolutely. That's precisely the propaganda is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the wealthy, the elite people, the wealthy class were caught in child abuse. The journalist took extra care, or no, it was very serious issue. So
Sir.
covered the issue, reported to the maybe editor or whatsoever, but the news was suppressed by the head of the media organization. But you remember, if you notice his dialogue, he says Tapar is one of the biggest advertisers for us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as we go ahead with the slides, the advertising is one of the points that Noam Chomsky also concentrates and calls it as a filter. We will see what it is. According to the theory, media operates as a business which sells its products to other business entities that do their advertisements in media rather than performing the functioning of disseminating news for the public. Very important point. So media is operating as business. So what is it selling? Not the news, but the readers and subscribers. Readers and subscribers.
Yes, sir.
For the sake of advertisements. And all of us know how media organizations survive. Okay, they're based on advertising revenue. Okay. Here, the news is being misshaped and reformed from its original form. So who does this? Maybe the sub-editor or the editor or associate editor. So Chandrasekhar has given a very good news report to the sub-editor. So he will reshape it. You must have written opposite to the ruling, opposite to the government. So he will make it for government. So misshaped and reformed from its original form. So the news gets reshaped by the gatekeepers. So Herman and Chomsky called the factors which misshape news as filters. So what? Noam Chomsky called it as a filter. So news gets filtered. The news is being filtered by each of these factors before they reach its audience or general public. Any news for that matter, any news that reaches sub-editor gets filtered and then only reaches the public. So what are the 5 filters that Noam Chomsky mentions? The first one is the size, ownership, profit orientation of mass media. The major media organizations are in the hands of few elites. Okay. At an international scenario, if you look, there are only 5 media conglomerates are dominating, namely Walt Disney. Okay, then I'm not giving you in order. So this is Walt Disney, News Corp, Okay, then CBS, then Viacom. Okay, these are media conglomerates who are dominating at an international scenario. Okay, if you come to regional, okay, regional, who are the dominators in Telangana, Chandrasekhar? Can you tell me from the point of view of media?
In both two Telangana and Andhra, sir. Two
No, what is
states.
Telangana? Okay,
Telangana, Namaste Telangana, sir, dominating.
Namaste Telangana, because it's a local.
Local ruling party, supporting ruling party, sir.
Yeah. The other media operators are like Sakshi, ET, Enadu. Okay. From the point of view of
Against ruling party, sir. Raj News.
Yes. So the major media organizations are in the hands of few elites. So suppose, for example, let's take Enadu. So Enadu, the owner of Enadu is Ramoji Rao, but it is in the hands of like Chandrababu Naidu only.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, ABN TV news channel,
TDP, sir. It supports
TV5 news channel.
TV5.
Okay, so like that. The
She
major
and,
news channels.
TV9 supporting Jagan, sir.
Exactly what. See, TV9 again. They have changed the scenario. Okay, 2019 they turned towards Jagan. Okay.
Rameshwar Rao, my home Rameshwar Rao is having shares, sir. He's having more shares in TV9. My home Rameshwar Rao, sir. Rameshwar Rao.
Rameshwara. Okay.
Realtor, no, sir.
Okay. The major news channels, newspapers, and other mass media instruments are part of large corporation conglomerations. The information presented to the public will be varying as per the interests of these organizations. As a part of maximizing profit, they sacrifice some news objectives. So I have shown you some clipping. So that rich man was caught in child abuse. So if you publish news against him, the media organization will not get advertising revenue from that particular company. Hence, the news is killed, compromised, other words I would say, compromised for the sake of profit. The extensive financial interests of these organizations may endanger the quality of news. Yes. Instead of quality of news, we can say credibility. It is common around the world that the media is in the hands of government being puppets. So it is not today's comments. Those days, Noam Chomsky realized and put it in his book. So media is a puppet in the hands of wealthy and the powerful, or in the hands of government. For example, see, when Rajiv Gandhi was prime minister, so second time he wanted to contest. I am not sure the historical background, but the point is this. So the media, he was in power. So the media was in his hands. So he was, general elections were taking place. So he was going on promoting his party by utilizing the government media. That's Doordarshan.
All India Radio.
Yeah, that's so Doordarshan he was making use of. That's why they called it not Doordarshan but Rajiv Darshan, because on and off he was promoting the ruling party. For example, corporate organization who owns media never publishes the financial details which may endanger them. So they never publish their financial details, though they have academic audit for every year.
Yes, sir.
Next filter is funding. In other words, advertisements. Advertisements play the major role of funding in mass media. If advertisements were not funding mass media, then price of the newspapers may include cost of its production. And also it's applicable for other mass media like television, radio, and electronic media. So if they don't get advertisement, then the price of newspaper goes high. If price of newspaper goes high, who will buy? See, when we were,
Yes,
when I was in the school days, it was 1 rupee or 1.5. Now it is 8 rupees or 10 rupees. I'm not sure. Because of digital media, very few people read newspapers. Yeah.
yes, sir.
So it is common that the media filters the news in favor of their advertisement providers. Kindly note, it is common that the media filters the news, sometimes suppresses news, sometimes compromises the news in favor of their advertisement providers. The same point is applicable in the film. The news is compromised, the news is killed because he is one of the advertising,
Yes, sir.
belongs to the company. Yeah?
Ruling party channels, they are showing Sakshi, they will go, they won't go against Jagan, sir. In ABN, they won't go against Chandrababu Naidu, sir. They are not showing the facts, sir. They are showing their own agenda, sir.
Exactly. They are showing their own agenda. They are no propaganda. They are doing a propaganda, influencing the ideas, attitudes, actions of
Also
the
influencing journalists also, sir. The journalists who get fame and name, just they will hire them in their news channels and TV channels. They are giving high level posts. They are also compromising, sir. Journalists are to some extent.
You are correct. You are correct.
Yes, sir.
You're correct. For example, a corporate organization may threaten the media, saying that they will withdraw advertising contract if the media publishes any news which damage the reputation of the organization. Okay. Next filter is the source. Even the biggest media organizations cannot afford to have reporters and camera persons wherever the news breaks. There will be some sources of news, and the media is supposed to protect these sources, and in the same time, there will be some powerful sources which tend to change the policies of a media. See, if any media cannot employ a reporter or a camera person or a photographer in a remote places, for example, to say. So for such places, we have stringers. Okay, we have information sharing persons. So such sources we need to say. Okay, it will be very clear with regard to example when we come to example. For availing a continuous flow of news, the media takes suitable actions in favor of source. The relationships have to be maintained with these sources, and it is common that the news are published keeping the source in mind. See, sometimes the source, okay, the people who give information, who give news, they would not like to make known their names to audience or the public. That's why sometimes we change the names, sometimes we keep anonymous. Have you noticed that, Chandrasekhar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For example, the spokesperson of a prime minister or president is considered as a powerful source of news. Okay. For making sure of a proper flow of news, the organization keeps the sources delighted by fine-tuning the news. Flags. Flags means negative response. Okay. Flags means negative response or some effect. Okay, flags refer to the negative responses to the statement or program published or broadcasted. See, when I was doing my internship during my masters in the first year, I was doing in TV9. So on fine day there was a discussion, something related to religion, Hindu religion, and they were talking about some Vedantas. Some topic was there. So one particular Swamiji made a comment on the other Swamiji. Okay. As a result, what happened? People who were following the news, okay, gathered outside TV9 just because there was negatively spoken. So immediately the response was shown outside. Yeah. So that's one perspective to look at. The other perspective is, suppose without verifying any evidences, media cannot publish If you publish, you will get a negative response. That will be the starting point for the destruction of the media organization. Hence, it is very essential to check evidences in order to avoid flags. If the flags are produced in a large scale, it is destructive to the media. The media will always have an eye for the negative responses. It will have a thorough look on the materials and news before it publishes or broadcasts some news about a publicly loud figure. For example, we cannot publish anything on Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, just like that. Okay, before publishing, we need to verify, we need to check the evidence 200 times, and then only we can publish. Otherwise, your media organization is doomed. That's all. As a filter, it will try to avoid the news items which may bring sorts of negative response. For example, most of the media never publishes news projecting negative image of religious leaders without strong evidence. Okay, without strong evidence, nobody will touch the area of religious leaders, because it may harm the reputation of media organization among the public. Last one is anti-communism. Since the authors have taken the context of America, so they are anti-communists. Communism people raise their voice, they fight for. So Americans were afraid of them. So hence, anything that is published on media has to be censored, has to be gone through a particular person, and then only should reach the audience. So they have imposed censorship. As far as the American corporations and elite groups are concerned, the communism was an ultimate evil because it took their wealth and power from them. Okay, so thanks to Karl Marx, people got class consciousness. They were fighting for their rights. Okay, respectable wages for their work. It threatened their superior positions and high class. So the elites who are the owners of media adopted a policy to bring censorship to the articles and news which talks about the good side of communism. The American elite even feared the word communal. This is the fifth filter and propaganda model suggested by Herman and Chomsky. So this is what propaganda is. Chandrasekhar, we will proceed with the next theory. Next one is global village. Okay, global village is the word coined by Marshall McLuhan. Okay, in his books Gutenberg Galaxy, The Making of Typographic Man and Understanding the Media. Okay, what is global village? Okay, what's the global village? Today, Chandrasekhar being in Mayapur can have interaction with the person who is in New York.
Yes.
Is it possible, Chandrasekhar?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is possible. It is possible with the help of internet, with the help of technology, with the help of connectivity. So it's a global village. So you're able to have interactions. You're able to have network. Okay. Global village describes the phenomenon of the entire world becoming more interconnected as a result of propagation of media technologies throughout the world. We are able to get connected with one another with the help of technology, with the help of media technology. So as I mentioned, the term was coined by Canadian media theorist Marshall McLuhan in his books that I have read. The term global village means all parts of the world as they are being brought together by the internet and the other electronic communication interconnections, as I mentioned. Okay, with the help of internet, only when we have internet, we can have access to Skype, we can have access to Zoom, With the help of these tools, we can have interaction as if they are next to us.
Sir.
Other forms of communication, such as Skype, allow easier communication connection with others, especially in other countries. Within global village framework, individuals transcend the micro, meso, and macro dynamics of their life on a daily basis. Okay, we are able to transcend, go beyond borders with the help of internet. See, for example, so Miyapur and person in New York, some lakhs of kilometers away, you are able to transcend the physical barrier.
Barriers, distance barrier.
Okay. Individuals tend to get involved in complex communities of networks stretching worldwide. You are able to be part of a particular group that is present in New York, maybe researchers group, maybe mass communication group,
Sir.
and have interaction with them, exchange with them ideas. Our consciousness is constantly adapting and morphing to the modifications of technological advancements. Okay, see, when I first started using mobile phone, that basic mobile phone, 2009, I started using mobile phone. Nokia, some numbers there were. Okay, I used Nokia, I used Oneida. Okay, I used Samsung, Motorola. So as the years passed by, the technological developments took place. Okay, as the technological developments have taken place, we human beings are also getting adapted. We are learning to use them. We are learning to know how to use them.
Sir.
See, before pandemic, I am sure before pandemic, most of us would have not known that Zoom is present.
Yes, sir.
Or any other online platform to take classes. Okay, thanks to Corona, we are able to know many of these platforms.
Yes, sir.
So thanks to technology, thanks to internet. Okay. Next one is technological determinism. Technological determinism. Technological determinism is a reductionist theory that aims to provide a causative link between technology and a society's nature. It tries to explain as to whom or what could have a controlling power in human affairs. That means, is technology controlling human being or vice versa? Is human controlling technology? What is your opinion, Chandrasekhar? What is your opinion? Is human controlling technology or technology is controlling human?
To some extent, is technology controlling women, sir, but it is very much useful to for every aspect. There is advantages and disadvantages, but it is very much useful to women, sir.
Yes, you are correct. See, suppose if I say technology is controlling human being, that means what? Human has no capacity to control not control, channelize or handle things. That will be a question. Let us say, if we say human is controlling, that is highly accepted in the society. Okay, they're both the ways. So, but nowadays we are getting lost in technology. For example, let me give you a small example. Oh, okay, before going to bed, okay, let me check for 5 minutes, we say. Okay, maybe WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram. It goes hours. Do you agree with me, Chandra?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, like that. Okay. The theory questions the degree to which human thought or action is influenced by technological factors. The term was coined by Thorstein Veblen, and this theory revolves around the proposition that technology in any given society defines its nature. Technology is used as the driving force of culture in a society, and it determines its course of history. So technology plays a major role in the development of a society. The development of a society. Even it plays a major role in the culture. Culture. Okay, the culture. See,
Sir.
with the now YouTube, anything and everything is available. Netflix has come, Amazon Prime. We are able to have access to so much of online content. Okay, for example, now the urban youth watch lot of American web series or comedy shows. Okay,
Sir.
so in and through these content, they are able to get exposed to certain culture. As I gave the example in the previous class, bro, the word bro, it's very of course, let you, if it is
Yes, sir.
used commonly among men, I accept it, but it is very, very common among girls. Are we able to see the connection? Technology and culture, technology and society.
Yes, sir.
Karl Marx believed that the technological progress lead to newer ways of production in the society. This ultimately influenced the culture, political and economic aspects of a society, thereby inevitably changing the society itself. Okay, the technology also influences, as I mentioned, culture, even politics, even the politics. So those days, political leaders, if they want to influence, if they want to send a propaganda or set the agenda, they were utilizing television, newspaper, and radio. Nowadays, digital media has taken over, especially social media.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
YS Jagan used that only, sir.
Yeah, I mentioned in yesterday's class. YS Jagan Mohan Reddy
Yes, sir.
have.
Prashant Kishore is one of.
You are correct. Has effectively used in order to win the elections. An alternative, weaker view of technological determinism says that technology is serving a mediating function because despite it leading to changes in culture, it is actually controlled by human beings. When control of technology slowly reduces from being in the hands of few human beings, it passes completely into the control of technology itself. This view of humans having no control is referred to as autonomous technological determinism. If you are failing to control technology, then it is called as autonomous technological determinism. Okay, this is with regard to theories related to international communication, Chandrasekhar. We'll go ahead with the next chapter.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Third unit. Okay. So the third unit is about current issues in international communication. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Current issues in international communication. So what are the current issues? We have few. Okay, we'll see slide by slide what they are. The first one is democratization of information flow and media systems. Okay, democratization of information means you are free. You can express whatever you want through whichever the channel you want, but make sure that there is some evidence. Otherwise, you will be behind the bars. When making a comment against a person or a society, but you are free to give your opinions.
In Andhra Pradesh, going on, no, sir. That the trend only going on.
Yeah,
They
because
also
see,
arrest each and even they arrested advocate Kalanidhi also, the High Court advocate. He stated only CBI explained how CBI works, how CBI powers and procedure. But he was arrested by AP government, sir.
correct.
That's going on.
Yes, you're correct. The democratization of information makes it possible that ideas, opinions, and cultural diversity, knowledge, education will be accessible anywhere, anytime, and to everybody. Okay, everybody. Democratization of information. So it is accessible to everybody. Okay, the knowledge, the education, your ideas, your opinions. For example, some official pages. Okay, some official pages like Brut. Okay, it's an official page for news. You can have access, you can share your opinions, you can have access to information anywhere, anytime. It is still a long way to, it's a still long way for a free internet. Okay, see, just to the example in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh, recently they have burnt the building of a minister. Yes, Chandrasekhar? Amalapuram. No, the issue is that they have named that particular district as Ambedkar Konasema Jilla.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they have burnt the buildings, no, the damaged the public property. For few days, there was no internet. People who were working online were struggling to get internet. So we have long way to get a free internet. Okay, or in other words, uninterrupted or unrestricted internet. Serious or political, religious, ideological, legal, commercial, technical censorship and guardianship. Common also in allegedly civilized and democratic countries. So these are very serious areas with regard to democratization of information. Political, you can share your views. In order, no, when you share, support your views with some evidence. Then you are strong enough in your point. Do not just share opinion like, I mean, if you have the strength to face the debate, fine. If otherwise, have evidence. The electronic tool internet presents the opportunity to overcome these impediments for free communication. Okay. Suppose you have internet and social media are part of Facebook or Instagram, Twitter. Okay. You can post any content. For example, that's the next point I am mentioning. For example, certain thing on your way to Medak or some particular place is not kept well or is fully damaged, or let us say a particular bridge is damaged, and if you don't immediately respond to that message, the damage, then there is a great chance for collapse. So such photos can be taken. You can post it on your social media handles or send to newspapers. Then they respond. If you have noticed Chandrasekhar, I have noticed it in Enadu in district paper, in district papers. They will publish a news saying Nadu Nedu yesterday and today. Have you noticed that?
Sir, yes, sir.
It's an example for citizen journalism. You are not exercising your democracy or democratization. Okay. So that's what the point. Any citizen is entitled to publish information worldwide himself or herself. And any other citizen has the right to receive, judge, and to use it himself under his own responsibility. Okay. So citizen journalism I mentioned. Media imperialism we have discussed in the previous class. If you have attended, it would you must have understood. Okay, I'm not going to waste time there.
Okay, sir. Continue.
Next one is cultural imperialism criticism. The phenomenon of cultural imperialism raises concerns in many countries. Okay, where people fear that their culture gets diluted or given a backseat to the demands of large media and corporate interests in the name of globalization, where products and imagery, mainly from the West, make it into the televisions and homes of people. See, if you observe Shekhar Kamula's films, okay, Shekhar Kamula's films, after 2014, he only focused on Telangana dialect.
Yes, sir.
Only focused on Telangana dialect. Okay. Otherwise, if we even after separation of the state, if we continue to promote the culture of Andhra, then the local culture gets diluted.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Cultural imperialism is a term that is only used in discussions where cultural relativism and constructivism are generally taken as true. So, what is cultural relativism? Cultural relativism means one cannot critique promoting Western values if one believes that said values are absolutely correct. West is best. It is not absolutely correct. If you say it is correct, then you are cultural relativist. One cannot argue that Western epistemology is unjustly promoted in non-Western societies if one believes that those epistemologies are absolutely correct. Again, it's cultural constructivism. For example, the culture of jeans pants. We have adopted that particular culture and we have constructed it here. Those days only men used to wear. Today we see women also wearing.
T-shirts also, sir. T-shirts also Western culture. Now women also
Yeah.
wearing.
See how we have progressed very quickly with regard to culture. Okay. Therefore, those who disagree with cultural relativism and constructivism may critique the employment of the term cultural imperialism on those terms. John Tomlinson, in his book Cultural Imperialism: A Critical Introduction, explains that one of the fundamental conceptual mistakes of cultural imperialism is to take for granted that the distribution of cultural goods can be considered as cultural dominance. Cultural goods, I mean to say here, can be clothes, can be music. Okay. See, those days, when we were children, we used to listen to Telugu songs, very melodious songs composed by Ilayaraja. Okay. But nowadays, the present youth hardly listen to these.
Sir, they listen to pop music.
Exactly correct. They listen to pop music, they listen to English songs, they sing them, album songs, they sing them. Yeah. Now, what's that rap? Rap is given more prominence than anything else now. Huh? Okay, see the cultural dominance. Cultural dominance. He thus supports his argument, highly criticizing the concept that Americanization is occurring through global overflow of American television products. So Americanization is occurring everywhere through various television channels, through various OTT platforms, through various shows, comedy shows, reality shows.
Sir, in Amazon also they will show more only American films only, sir. They
Obviously, because
British
Amazon
movies, sir.
Prime has basis in
I
USA.
searched so many times, sir. They are showing American-based films more and more, sir.
Correct. Correct. He points to a myriad of examples of television networks who have managed to dominate their domestic markets, and that domestic program generally top the rating. He also doubts the concept that cultural agents are passive receivers of information. That means what? See, in Tamil Nadu, when I was studying, see, there was a local drink, just then began. That's called Bovento. I don't know how. Have you heard it called Bovento?
Oh, sir.
No, it's a drink like a Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Thumbs Up.
Okay, sir.
That's a drink.
But local brand.
Local brand means it's a
Tamil Nadu.
made in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
Okay, made in Tamil Nadu. So people decided only to promote that, nothing else. Most of them drink Bovento because people are active. If you don't promote your own local product, then who else will promote? If you are promoting Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up, that means what? You are passive receiver. Okay. The cultural imperialism has had its effects. The import of several cultural rituals and habits into the Indian society. For example, See, have you ever heard Friendship Day?
Sir.
Does our forefathers, like grandfathers, know Friendship Day? Such a day was present. It is celebrated on every first Sunday of August.
They won't, sir.
They won't. Again, Valentine's Day.
Trending.
Yeah. So these cultural imports are being created, okay, for business sake. The way we dress, the way we behave have all been affected by television, even if not directly. One of the biggest is the porn industry. Worst. Now YouTube has much more. If you go to Facebook videos, it is present even there. Okay. Next is effects of globalization on media systems. Globalization refers to rapidly developing process of complex interactions between societies, cultures, institutions, and individuals worldwide. Okay. Now we just mentioned global village. So globalization with me, there is a constant interaction between societies, American society, Indian society, American culture, Indian culture, American institutions, Indian institutions, American individuals, Indian individuals. So there is a constant interaction. It is a social process which involves a compression of time and space, shrinking distances through a dramatic reduction in the time taken. Okay, it involves a compression of time and space. Okay, so it's a social process which involves compression of time and space. How? For example, let us take with the help of technology. Okay, one story, a biography film, let's take. A person's life is shown in 3 hours or 2 hours. How? So compressed time and space. How it is possible? Because of technology.
Technology, sir.
How did we get this technology? Because of globalization. Yeah.
Sir.
Media has always played a very important role in our society, and for a long time, it remained one of the methods of controlling people and their recreational time. So media has controlled people what to watch and what not to watch, what to think about. That is precisely
Also Netflix
agenda.
going on. They are deciding what to.
Yes, precisely. Even what should we do in recreation time? Okay, for example, after supper, maybe after 8:30 or 9 o'clock, you have taken your supper and you are walking on the road. You don't simply walk. You take mobile phone. You will watch Facebook. See, media is there even in your recreational time. While eating, you watch TV.
Sir.
While going to bathroom, you take your mobile phone.
They are using earphones.
Yeah, now earphones. Yeah. So these are the effects on media system. The media hence provides different types of information, different ways, in the form of newspaper, internet, television, magazine, radio, etc. In fact, it's a very essential and simplified way to inform or simply to entertain the audience. Okay. As the process of globalization becomes more prominent, the role of media and advertisement and consumerism also increases considerably. Very important, because globalization has taken a predominant place in today's context. Along with it came advertisement industry. The role of media became more consumerism. As I mentioned in my previous classes, one mobile phone is not enough. Personal mobile phone, professional mobile phone. Okay. So like as I said, there is a philosophy called having more is better than being more. Having more means plenty in order to fill the empty space that is within me. Okay. Therefore, globalization is not just integrating trade or investment in financial markets, but also integrating the consumer markets. The consumer markets. Today you see number of companies we have with regard to mobile phones. Those days only few phones had a smartphone facilities. Now every phone is coming up with its own smartphone facility.
They are
Except,
sending through email also, sir, messages, buy this one, exchange, and you will get drop price rate and also discount. And also they are attracting the consumer in so many ways.
You're correct. The most visible effect of globalization is widespread communication. Widespread communication. We are able to communicate who is present in New York just with a WhatsApp message, just with a Skype, just with a WhatsApp video call. That is visible effect of globalization. One can see that the process of globalization has led to opening up of people mind towards not just the walls within which they stay, but also be aware of what's happening around the world. You are not just communicating, you are also getting aware what is happening in Russia. You are getting to know with the click of a button at your laptop or mobile phone. Yeah, this is okay. Next, role of internet in the media globalization. In the society, the digital media is intensely transforming the consumer behavior and traditional media business models. Okay, see, consumer behavior has changed drastically. Just I give you an example. Okay, in 2015 or 16, okay, the Geo was introduced into the market. It has come with the disruptive innovation theory, providing them free internet or so much of GB. Are you able to recollect, Chandra? Yeah, so that was done. Automatically consumer behavior changed.
Sir.
They changed
Consume
their
more and more
services,
GB.
network service.
Yes, sir.
They turned towards the Geo. Airtel, Idea, Vodafone lost their business, their market. Another one is traditional media business models have changed. Those days only newspapers. Now newspapers have come into internet. We have Sakshi newspaper, Andhra Jyoti newspaper, Enadu newspaper. Business models have changed.
Sir.
Okay, because of globalization and with the help of internet. With the share market and the online trading, banking facilities, people have started shifting from the conventional ways of doing things to this modern, easier and hassle-free method. Yes, nowadays, anything and everything, Phone Pay, Paytm, Google Pay, hey, everything, Amazon Pay, MobiQuick, okay, easier way of doing things, okay. Now rent is paid through mobile phone. Loans are paid through mobile phone. Yeah. The role of internet in the cultural and traditional aspect is quite prominent. Globalization has an immense effect on the cultures of the different countries. It has always had a very deep impact on the cultural identity. It has affected a lot. Okay, internet has affected a lot about the cultural identity. Cultural identity can be spoken from the point of view of language, from the point of view of clothing, from the point of view of lifestyle. Okay, even food, fast food culture. Where did we get it?
Sir.
Yeah.
China, sir. Fast food culture.
That's it.
Noodles,
Yes.
fast food.
Free flow of information, speedy progress in the field of technology, transportation, communication has converted this world into a global village, which we have discussed in the previous slides. With the help of globalization and internet being a source of it, there is an exchange of these cultural and traditional aspects, leading to an amalgamation of culture. Amalgamation means mixture. There is a great mix of culture. Okay, even in your class, as you said, you have 120 students. 120 students are not equal in the culture. 120 cultures evolve. So amalgamation of cultures happen. Role of television in media globalization. The television acts as an eye opener to the viewers. Okay, when the internet was not there, television is the only medium which enlightened our minds, opened our eyes. Even today, people have access to television in order to watch political updates. Okay, political updates. They glued to televisions, news channels. When the press media had not come into picture, people used to communicate by writing letters. Okay, that we know. Okay, this press media has become a source of promoting, projecting, and supporting the process of providing info. As I gave the example, Rajiv Gandhi, I gave the example in the previous lines. It was not called Doordarshan, it was called Rajiv Darshan because he was promoting himself. He was projecting his government as a progressive government. Okay. The younger generations watch television regularly because they have access to many reality shows, dance shows, music shows. Okay, they might not. It will be, for example, certain shows, certain like for example, let us say Big Boss. Okay, now it is 24/7. Previous seasons, it's only for particular days, 90 days or whatever. Afterward, that's gone. Are you following me, Chandra?
Yes, sir. Following, sir.
Yeah. The viewers can be made aware of political issues, sensitive topics concerning the nation. I mentioned about television. With regard to radio in the media globalization, it is easiest, cheapest media source, easily available. Okay, even while driving, you can listen to radio. Okay, you need not to be educated with this. An illiterate person also it can be catered to the large number of people. Okay, advertisement industry has used this medium to expose global products daily to the audience. So advertising industry has utilized radio, and radio we have lot of private players now, FMs, radio FM, Reliance FM, Surya FM. Yeah.
Radio FM.
Yeah.
Community radios, sir.
Yeah. Community radio is mostly for the social change.
Sir.
Social change. Actually, it's very good. Kabar Lahariya, some examples are there. Okay. Radio also provides a platform for the cultural and traditional exchange. For example, radio channels provide music of different parts of the world. It's like music programs. Those days, but I don't know now. Now I do not know. I mean, hardly listen to those days. At least I used to listen to radio news. Now I am not at all utilizing radio. Okay. So those days.
In Sanskrit also they will used to telecast Sanskrit also, sir, in olden days.
Yes,
News
yes.
on radio.
Correct. Next is transnational media ownership. Okay, transnational means it can be called as multinational. Okay, it can be called as multinational. That means what? You are having ownership at a global level. Okay, global level. Transnational means global level. Okay. It has long been a complaint against Western media companies that whatever they go, they devour the local cultural industry and overwhelm the other countries with their cultural products. Okay, suppose Amazon Prime, Netflix, they are from USA, but today they have taken over even India also. People have most of the households have accounts in Amazon Prime, Netflix. Okay, so see, global, that's called as a media imperialism. Here, the cultural products mean films, TV, okay. Similar is the case with online companies. They are based in the West. They have minimal or no physical presence in India, third world countries like example India, but they control market here. For example, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, Twitter are few examples. See, we have here five multinational or media ownership, transnational media ownership. What are they? Walt Disney, News Corp, AOL, Time Warner, CBS Corp, Viacom. I have mentioned in the previous slides. I have just given you a brief about what it is. Okay, about what the company is. Okay. First one is Walt Disney. Second one is News Corp. Third is Time Warner, CBS, and Viacom. Okay, I want to little have a discussion here. Transnational media companies put restrictions and influence the ability of sovereign nations by influencing people and government. Okay, for example, anything that comes, okay, they have their own restrictions, maybe with regard to shares, with regard to investments. Yeah, they promote and extend the free market ideology and consumerism, which is not in the long term interest of nations. They come in the name of free market. Okay, they invade in the name of free market. Similarly, all the online companies like Gmail, Yahoo, and Facebook have already captured the market in all the countries without having any physical presence in most of the countries. And the recent snooping of personal information by Western countries is a perfect example of this danger. Okay, that WikiLeaks. Okay, WikiLeaks. It's another example. Okay. Next, let me see how many slides are there. 1, 2. Okay, 2 more slides. Internet effect and its impact. The challenge to media economics is production and marketing of the content. Today, what is difficulty is marketing the content and production of content. That's why every time I receive certain job opportunity messages for students, they say we need content writers. Okay, that's why it's called content is king. Content is king. So today, media economics is production marketing of the content. Why? Because consumers, okay, the transition from physical media to broadcast media presented a new challenge. Okay, physical media to broadcast media means newspapers, magazine to television, radio. It presented new challenge. What is the new challenge? Because consumers did not pay money for radio and later television programming, whereas previously for newspapers they have to pay.
2 rupees, minimum 3 rupees.
Yes, correct. They need not to pay for this because they were getting sponsorship. That's why this program is being sponsored by, they will say, if you have noticed in television or radio. Why? They used to get advertising space. They used to generate revenue from advertisements. The fundamental shift in internet economics has been the minuscule price of online space. Okay, now with the advent of internet, you need not to, only you need to subscribe, you need to have internet connection. That's all. That's the only money that you are spending. That is also very minimum. If you are using a mobile data for 3 months, 400 rupees, very minimum. Yeah. Combined with the instantaneous proliferation of information, the internet seems to pose a grave threat to traditional media. Media outlets have responded by establishing themselves online. I gave the example. Okay, every newspaper has its online presence, giving up-to-date news. If they don't provide up-to-date information online, their physical presence will be lost. Through internet portals, media companies have synergized their content. They are quickly moving to become a little bit of everything. So even in online news portals, when they click the particular news item, a video also plays. If you are not observed, please observe Chandra. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next is internet and global mass communication. We have talked about global village. Okay, we are able to establish networks, interactions with the people beyond borders. Okay, what are the advantages? Internet is now found in even some of the most remote corners of our planet. The internet has allowed us to express ourselves in ways we couldn't before. Okay, we are able to express freely in and through social media handles. Maybe about a person, about an issue, about a party, about a community, about a society. You're able to express freely. That was not present previously. We can start a blog. We can start a YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
And publish our own content online. What are the challenges with internet? We have online bullying, cyber crimes happening, hacking taking place. That's why we have come up with the information technology laws, IT laws. Internet and social media, you know it. Okay, users gained the ability to transmit pictures, sound, video over the internet through mails, through WhatsApp, through Facebook. Okay, companies quickly began to capitalize on the new technology, launching web browsers. Okay, we have many web browsers like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, then Opera. Okay, so as the new advances take place, new players coming to picture. So this is what is the third unit, current issues in international communication. Chandra, any doubts? Chandra, any doubts? Chandrasekhar, any doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
Clear,
thank
sir,
you very
clear.
much, Chandra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
We'll meet in the next class.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye, sir.